Tiffany Stratton retains WWE Women's Championship. YouTube script. Tiffany Stratton just stole the most controversial championship victory in WWE Women's Division history, and if you're not absolutely furious about what happened in that ring, then you clearly didn't witness the biggest screwjob since Montreal. What we saw wasn't just a chaotic match, it was a systematic destruction of everything fair and competitive about women's wrestling, orchestrated by a spoiled princess who doesn't deserve to carry the championship for another second. The ending of this match was so disgustingly corrupt that it makes you question whether WWE has any respect left for their female competitors or if they're willing to sacrifice the entire division's credibility to keep their golden girl on top. Tiffany didn't retain the championship through skill, talent, or determination, she stole it through the most blatant referee manipulation, outside interference, and corporate favoritism ever witnessed in a women's title match. If you think what happened to Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and every other woman who got robbed in that ring was just creative storytelling, then you're part of the problem that's destroying the integrity of women's professional wrestling. This wasn't entertainment, this was a public execution of competitive fairness that proves WWE values corporate politics over athletic achievement. The match started with so much promise, with four of the most talented women in WWE putting on an absolute clinic of technical wrestling, high-impact moves, and emotional storytelling that reminded everyone why the women's division has become the heart and soul of modern WWE programming. But all of that incredible work was destroyed by the most corrupt finish in championship match history. For 35 minutes, we watched Rhea Ripley dominate with her raw power and intensity, Bianca Belair showcase her incredible athleticism and strength, Io Sky demonstrate her technical brilliance, and even Tiffany Stratton proved she could hang with the elite until the politics and corruption took over and destroyed everything we had just witnessed. The first sign that something was wrong came when referee Charles Robinson seemed to be giving Tiffany significantly longer to recover from big moves than her opponents. While Rhea was being rushed to break submission holds, Tiffany was allowed to lay motionless for extended periods without any urgency from the official. The double standard was so obvious that even blind fans could see the fix was in. Here's a question that's going to expose just how corrupt WWE's officiating has become. Did you notice how many times referee Robinson was conveniently looking the other way when Tiffany's opponents had clear pinfalls that should have ended her reign? But the real controversy began when Tiffany's unnamed insurance policy made their presence felt. Mystery figures at ringside, suspicious distractions at crucial moments, and convenient timing that always seemed to favor the champion. This wasn't just luck, this was a coordinated conspiracy to ensure Tiffany retained her title regardless of what happened in the ring. The most infuriating moment came when Rhea Ripley had Tiffany beaten with the riptide. The impact was devastating, Tiffany was completely unconscious, and Rhea had the match won fair and square until referee Robinson suddenly developed selective blindness and refused to count the pinfall that everyone in the arena could see was a legitimate victory. Instead of counting three like any competent official would do, Robinson pretended he didn't see the cover, then claimed Tiffany's foot was under the rope when video clearly shows it was in the center of the ring. The blatant corruption was so obvious that fans started throwing debris into the ring in protest of the robbery they were witnessing. But the injustice didn't end there. When Bianca Belair connected with the KOD and had Tiffany completely beaten, suddenly there was a wardrobe malfunction that required Robinson's immediate attention. While he was distracted by this obvious setup, masked figures pulled Tiffany to safety and allowed her to recover from a move that should have ended her championship reign. The coordination required for this level of corruption proves this wasn't just incompetent officiating, this was a premeditated plan to ensure Tiffany retained her title no matter what happened in the actual match. Every distraction, every missed call, every convenient timing was orchestrated to protect WWE's chosen golden girl. Quick question for the women's wrestling fans, when was the last time you saw a championship match where the referee seemed more interested in protecting the champion than enforcing the rules fairly? The most disgusting display of favoritism came during Io Sky's incredible comeback sequence. After hitting a picture-perfect moonsault that should have secured her first WWE Women's Championship, referee Robinson not only counted slower than usual but actually stopped counting at 2.5 when it was clear Tiffany wasn't going to kick out. The slow-motion replay showed Tiffany's shoulders were clearly down for a full 3 count, but Robinson deliberately delayed his hand to give her extra time to recover. This wasn't a judgment call or a close decision, this was blatant cheating by an official who had clearly been instructed to protect the champion at all costs. The breaking point came when all 4 women were down after a devastating sequence of finishers that left everyone motionless in the ring. Instead of starting a standard 10 count that would have given everyone an equal chance to recover, Robinson immediately rushed to check on Tiffany while completely ignoring the other 3 competitors who were equally deserving of medical attention. The preferential treatment was so obvious that commentators struggled to explain what they were seeing. Michael Cole's stammering attempts to justify Robinson's actions only made the corruption more apparent to everyone watching. When your own announce team can't defend the officiating, you know something is seriously wrong with the match. But the absolute worst moment came when Tiffany was caught red-handed using the championship belt as a weapon while Robinson was supposedly distracted by outside interference. Multiple camera angles clearly show her striking Rhea Ripley with the title, yet when Robinson turned around, he acted like nothing had happened and allowed the match to continue. Here's another question for the eagle-eyed viewers. How many times did you count Tiffany using illegal tactics that should have resulted in immediate disqualification? Because I lost count after the 7th blatant rule violation. The finish itself was the most corrupt sequence in modern WWE history. After Tiffany hit her prettiest moonsault ever on a pile of opponents, she made the cover on Rhea Ripley, but instead of the usual deliberate slow count we've been seeing all match, Robinson suddenly counted at lightning speed to ensure no one could kick out or make a save. The hypocrisy was staggering. All match long, Robinson had been giving Tiffany extra time to recover and slow counting her opponent's pin attempts, but the moment she went for the victory, he counted faster than we've ever seen him count before. The double standard was so blatant that it insulted the intelligence of everyone watching. The post-match celebration was equally nauseating. Instead of showing any acknowledgement that she had been gifted a victory through corrupt officiating, Tiffany acted like she had overcome incredible odds through her own talent and determination. The delusion and entitlement on display was absolutely disgusting to witness. But the most infuriating aspect of this entire travesty is how WWE's commentary team and social media accounts immediately began spinning this obvious screwjob as some kind of heroic performance by their golden girl. The gaslighting was so intense that they actually tried to convince fans that what they saw with their own eyes wasn't real. The backstage interviews after the match revealed the true depths of this conspiracy. Instead of addressing the obvious officiating issues, WWE officials praised Tiffany's championship instincts and ability to capitalize on opportunities, code words for benefiting from corporate protection and referee corruption. Here's a question that gets to the heart of WWE's credibility problem. How can fans invest emotionally in championship matches when the outcomes seem predetermined by corporate favoritism rather than in-ring performance? The social media reaction has been explosive. Fans are posting side-by-side comparisons showing the different counting speeds Robinson used throughout the match, with slow-motion evidence of the preferential treatment Tiffany received. The hashtag corrupt officiating has been trending worldwide as wrestling fans express their outrage. But perhaps the most damning evidence comes from the audio that was picked up by ringside microphones. Multiple times throughout the match, you can clearly hear Robinson giving Tiffany coaching and encouragement that he never offered to her opponents. An official openly showing favoritism during a championship match is a corruption scandal of the highest order. The impact on the other competitors is absolutely heartbreaking. Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Io Sky all delivered career-defining performances that should have been rewarded with championship gold, only to be robbed by corrupt officiating that made their incredible efforts meaningless. The look of devastation on Rhea Ripley's face when she realized she had been screwed out of a victory she had legitimately earned will haunt wrestling fans forever. This is a woman who has worked her entire career to reach this level, only to have her dreams crushed by corporate politics and referee manipulation. Bianca Belair's emotional breakdown after the match was equally gut-wrenching. Here's one of the most talented athletes in WWE history, reduced to tears because she knows she was cheated out of a championship that she had won through superior performance. The injustice is absolutely sickening. But the most disgusting aspect of this entire situation is how it damages the credibility of every future women's championship match. How can fans believe in the competitive integrity of these contests when they've seen such blatant manipulation and corruption? Tiffany's tainted reign has poisoned the entire division. Here's a final question for the longtime WWE fans. Do you think the women's division can recover from this level of controversial officiating, or has the damage to its credibility become irreparable? The investigation that needs to happen into referee Charles Robinson's conduct during this match is absolutely essential for restoring any faith in WWE's championship competitions. The evidence of favoritism, manipulation, and corruption is so overwhelming that serious disciplinary action must be taken. But the real blame lies with WWE management, who clearly instructed their officials to protect their chosen champion regardless of what happened in the ring. This level of corporate interference in athletic competition makes a mockery of everything professional wrestling claims to represent. The pattern of protection that Tiffany has received throughout her championship reign suggests this corruption goes far deeper than just one match. Fans have documented numerous instances where officiating seemed designed to keep the title on someone who clearly doesn't deserve to carry it based on merit alone. The testimonies from other women on the roster paint a disturbing picture of a two-tiered system where certain performers receive preferential treatment while others are expected to overcome impossible odds. This toxic culture is destroying the morale and competitive spirit of the entire women's division. The most tragic aspect of this controversy is how it overshadows the incredible athleticism and storytelling that the four competitors delivered before politics ruined everything. These women put on a match that should have been celebrated as one of the greatest in WWE history, only to have their efforts tainted by corruption. But perhaps there's hope that this blatant injustice will finally force WWE to address the systemic problems in their officiating and booking that have been building for months. Sometimes it takes a scandal this obvious to create the pressure needed for real change. Until then, Tiffany Stratton's championship reign will always be remembered as the most tainted and controversial in WWE women's division history, a constant reminder of what happens when corporate favoritism overcomes competitive integrity and athletic achievement.